Welcome back to SouFLoTV. If you've never been here before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. This video won't be too long. This video is just to pay homage to one of the legends. You know, Mike McCallum, when we were growing up, Mike McCallum was known as the body snatcher. Mike McCallum is also in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Shout out to all the Jamaicans out there. Mike McCallum is one of your own. He is a Jamaican. However, you know the Boxing Hall of Fame is not specific to any country. The Boxing Hall of Fame basically has the best boxers in boxing history. And Mike McCallum represented that well. The Hall of Famer, 3-division champion Mike McCallum, the Jamaican boxing legend Mike McCallum, has died at the age of 68 years old. You know, I've always said we're all born and then we all die. I don't like to use the word die because dead implies that there was no legacy left behind and you are gone forever and no one will remember you. Mike McCallum's legacy will definitely live on. The body snatcher will never be forgotten. So I would rather use the word transcend. So from the moment you are born to the moment you die or pass away or transcend, however you want to call it, it is what you do with your time in the middle that will count, that will determine if you are remembered after you physically transcend, leave this earth. Mike McCallum, he died in Las Vegas recently, according to the Clark County Coroner's Office. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said that nothing suspicious was found at the scene and that the cause of his death has yet to be verified. They're going to have to wait on the coroners to tell them after an autopsy what his cause of death was. Don't worry, he was a clean guy. Mike McCallum was actually on his way to the gym to go do his morning workouts when he simply pulled his car over on the side of the street and then he passed away in his vehicle. It is said that he experienced some difficulty breathing. I don't know if he called or texted somebody, but he passed away right there. And that is where they got him from. Thank God he didn't pass away while driving at high speed on a highway, crashed his car and mangled his body. He just simply pulled his car over and that was the end. I tell you, life is funny like that. You know, you're going, you think you have forever or at least another couple of few good years left. And one day you're doing your routine and that's it. You sit down and you never get up again. You lay down and you go to sleep permanently. You're driving and you pull the car over because of some discomfort and they find you right there. That is Mike McCallum's ending of his story. We will wait for the autopsy to verify what happened, what caused this death. But in the meantime, known as the body snatcher, Mike McCallum was one of boxing's most feared and revered punchers. I remember one professional boxer said, if I was going to fight, I would pray and hope that the opponent would not be Mike McCallum standing in that next corner over across from me. He was truly feared. During his career that ran from 1981 to 1997, he retired in 1997 with an impressive record. He had a lot of fights. His professional record was 49 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. That record then became a successful trainer in Las Vegas. I will take that back. It's 49 wins, 5 draws, and 1 loss. and he became a successful trainer in Las Vegas. He was born in Kingston, Jamaica on December 7th, 1956. He represented Jamaica at the 1976 Summer Olympic Games. He turned pro in 1981, and he won his first 32 fights straight, with 29 of those coming by way of knockout. I want you to think about this. This is back in an era when there were no social media, there was no, the things that we have today, camera phones. There was none of that. People were carrying beepers back then. We didn't even have cell phones. You had to go down the street and actually dial in from a phone that was on the side of the road, right? He turned pro in 81, and he won 32 fights straight, 29 of those coming by way of knockout. Mike McCallum became boxing's first Jamaican-born world champion in 1984. Give a round of applause for that. This is what you call one of those legends, one of those who paved the way, who kicked doors in so others knew that it was possible. Jamaica's first boxing world champion, Mike McCallum. He won world titles also impressively at junior middleweight, and then he won world titles at middleweight, and then he won world titles at lightweight. 3 different division, world class. And he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2003. So, his legacy is one that is storied. He is in the Hall of Fame with the greatest that have ever done it. So it is with sadness, utter and complete sadness, that I learned of the death of Jamaica's 3-time world boxing champion, Michael Mackenzie McCallum, which was his real name. Jamaica Sports Minister Olivia Grange said, I express my personal condolences to his mother, siblings, and his children. And on behalf of the Ministry of Sports, I take this opportunity to extend our sympathies to the family and the friends of this legendary Jamaican. Now, modern day Jamaicans might only know of people like Floyd Mayweather, and coming out of Jamaica, there hasn't really been any world-class boxing champions in recent times. I'm not talking about back in the time of Lennox Lewis and these guys. That's a time gone by. I'm speaking of, say, within the past decade. We haven't really had that, right? So the new generation, they really don't know who Mike McCallum is. And I think it's important that they know about this man who became Jamaica's first world champion with the impressive record that he had. And the name alone, his nickname, the Body Snatcher, that alone would make you want to go look up his fights and watch him snatch bodies. Mike McCallum was feared and revered for his brutal body punching, but he was also recognized as a highly skilled boxer with an incredible chin. He could take a punch, and he could definitely give a punch, as evidenced by never being knocked out in his 55 professional fight career. He was never knocked out. While Mike McCallum holds the win over the likes of Julian Jackson, Donald Curry, Milton McCrory, he was never able to score a fight with a high-profile opponent during his heyday. Now, as the likes of Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, and Thomas Hearns opted not to face him. Y'all heard that? These are big names which anybody who existed, or even now you can still go look it up. Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, who people hail as one of the greatest. Sugar Ray Leonard, who people hail as one of the greatest. The marvelous Marvin Hagler, who people hail as one of the greatest. Tommy Thomas Hearns, who people hailed as one of the greatest. All of those are on a list that chose to never fight Mike McCallum. You see, they knew that if they fought that Jamaican, their bodies would have been snatched too. And we're not talking about snatch like how women today say they go to the gym and get their stomach flat, or they go get a BBL and suck some fat out of this part, and then they come out and say the body is snatched. No, we talking about body snatched, as in you getting knocked out by a body punch, a solar plexus punch, a kidney punch, a gut punch. Mike McCallum was just the guy. He was the guy, the boogeyman that the greats feared. And they too went into the Boxing Hall of Fame. So after winning the WBA Superweight welterweight title by defeating Sean Manion in 1984, Mike McCallum made 6 successful defense of that title. 6 times he defended his title. Step up if you're bad. All the wins for defending his title, he knocked every single one of the competitors out. All 6 of them. Then he suffered the first loss of his career when he challenged the WBA middleweight champion, who at the time was Sambu Kalambe, and that was back in 1988. But Mike McCallum would eventually capture the vacant middleweight title the following year by defeating Harold Grime by split decision. He would later avenge the loss to Kalambe before battling fellow Hall of Famer James Toney to a split draw in 1991, and then losing a decision in their 1992 rematch. So Mike was that guy, okay? If you beat him before, he'll come back and beat you again. Now, Mike McCallum won a world title in a 3rd weight class at the age of 37 when he beat Jeff Harding in the 1994 fight. And he would make 1 title defense before losing 3 of his final 4 fights. This is when he decided to hang it up. Losing too many fights in a row kind of tells you, listen, you've had a good run. It's time to go. So we stand corrected in all our excitement. Mike had 49 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. That's his record. He would make that 1, lost too many after that, 3 in a row. And then he said, listen, it's time to go. Following his retirement, Mike McCallum was a fixture in Las Vegas, United States of America, training fighters alongside his fellow former champion Eddie Mustafa Muhammad right up until the moment he passed away. Let's not forget this. Jamaica. Mike McCallum was Jamaica's first boxing world champion. Don't forget that. That's history that cannot be rewritten, cannot be redone. Pay homage. May his soul rest in peace, and may his family find comfort. And like I started out this video by saying, we all were born, and we all shall pass away, transcend, die. It is what you do in the meantime, in between, that will determine if you are remembered. An African proverb says, when you pass away, if no one speaks of you, you are truly dead. When you pass away, if your deeds and your name rings off people's tongues, then you are alive and you will live on. May Mike McCallum's legacy live on forever. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.